A girl asked a boy if she was pretty. He said no. She asked him if he wanted to be with her forever. He said no. Then she asked if he would cry if she walked away. He said no. She had heard enough. She needed to leave. As she walked away, he grabbed her arm and told her to stay. He said, "You're not pretty. You're beautiful. I don't want to be with you forever. I need to be with you forever. And I wouldn't cry if you walked away. I would die." Hi, and thanks for coming through. I just read out this classic meme which normally does rounds in the DMs when some guys are short of words to express their undying love. I had to go back to this classic because I think I once used it as inspiration back then when I believed in soulmates, but now I don't. And if there's anything for me out there, I'll not do much about it. Maybe we are meant to be. Maybe we shared a past life. Or you feel like you've been looking for me your whole life. Don't worry. I finally found myself and I love myself. And I pray that every simp out there gets to that place where they understand that you can't negotiate genuine desire. You attract it when you realize your own worth and cultivate yourself. And you won't die if she walks away. Instead, you kill yourself every time you put up the nice guy facade. Fucking simps. It's about high time these nice guys were exposed. So today's episode will be focusing on them. Oh, look at them finally getting attention without trying too hard to impress anyone. Stick around and enjoy this episode. The word nice usually carries positive connotations, but in the context of male-female engagement, it's not the best description one would like to be associated with. Bad boys are the ideal type that all girls fantasize about. Makes you wonder if they are that inclined towards danger. The answer is yes, and more on that later in this episode. For now, I would like to define what a nice guy is. A nice guy is a man who lacks integrity and self-awareness, but tries to seek validation by being nice to those around him. He hopes his efforts will be rewarded with approval, and when he doesn't get the desired outcome, he deploys different tactics, all aimed at secretly pursuing approval. So in a way, his kindness serves as a weapon. It becomes hard for him to have stable relationships even though he might think he is doing everything for his significant other, because his way of interacting with people is self-centered. And most girls can feel it because girls are really harsh when it comes to screening possible suitors, as they should be. The nice guy is competitive when in a relationship. Unlike integrated men who know their place and are able to lead and make the relationship conducive, he cares more about how he is perceived by his girl, thus assuming the feminine role in the relationship. Sometimes even throwing tantrums in moments of conflict and bringing up everything he has ever done for his girl to prove that he is not worthy of the confrontation when he is supposed to be handling the situation in a responsible manner. He will do anything to avoid conflict resolution, whereas honest men of integrity call out the issues to ease the burden of frustration and exhaustion because they don't fear disapproval in case they upset their girl. Mr. Nice Guy also aims to please by satisfying temporary pleasures. All those gifts are meant to boost his likability, while integrated men know not to be fooled. They know one-way favors aren't sustainable, and if the relationship dwells on that premise, then it's not going to last, because material things don't last. They communicate clearly or cut off because they are honest with themselves. Unlike Mr. Nice Guy, who wants to convince everyone that he can overstretch beyond his capacity, thinking he is Superman, hence the savior complex and self-sacrifice for the convenience of the girl. It's for his approval, and even if some girls like having a Superman, it can be dangerous because at some point he'll snap out of it. You become the mission for Mr. Nice Guy because he hopes he can secure you and feel wanted. An honest man knows that a woman is not his mission. She just complements the main life mission. The flip side of Mr. Nice Guy is that he could be an emotional and physical abuser as a way to reinforce his masculinity because he doesn't know what being a man is. He just tries to act like one and will think being abusive is a display of dominance when it just shows lack of composure and invites more disrespect. The nice guy persona is exhausting, so if you have a nice guy, ladies, be ready for the outbursts from moment to moment when he has to prove his manhood. Now, inasmuch as I have touched on how nice guys are undesirable for girls who want stable relationships, I have to acknowledge the fact that nice guy traits are gaining appeal because a lot of modern women are chasing domination, which unfortunately is just a reaction to their environment. So a passive nice man isn't dangerous. and helps them to constantly reaffirm their superiority. They dismiss the necessity of masculine protection because they are apparently as tough as men. Mr. Nice Guy also makes a good bestie who fulfills the duties of a boyfriend while being kept at a safe distance. From time to time, he's bombarded with sob stories and assumes the role of the therapist instead of being honest about his secret desire. "Why don't you leave this guy? You deserve someone who will treat you like a princess," says Mr. Therapist Nice Guy, instead of making his move. The therapist brother needs to respect himself and walk away so that he explores his options. The friend zone is a very limiting position. Have the guts to leave, bro. Why should you wait for her down moments to look like a hero? Save yourself from the misery which is only worsened by the stories she tells you about how the world is against her or the toxic boyfriend in her life. She won't choose you even though you try to play it safe because you don't satisfy her desire for a thrilling experience. She puts up with so much tension by just being a woman, so she needs the thrill for tension release, not the boring comfort. She needs a guy who has that mysterious appeal that keeps her on the edge because that's the guy with whom she'll actually feel protected. You have to understand that she needs to be protected even from her own vices. And as a nice guy, you'll end up validating even her worst traits just because you can't confront her. So she can't choose you, she'll just use you. I hope it's clear that nice guys aren't the ideal man because they trade off selfless responsibility, seeking selfish approval. And that we don't need more nice guys, we need honest men who can be genuinely kind in this decaying world. True masculinity has to be encouraged so that men are responsible and women are protected from bad choices when it comes to picking suitable partners. And to the brother acting the therapist role in the friend zone, bro, I know it's not your fault that you're a simp, but it's your responsibility. Stop lying and be honest about how you feel because you won't be excused from the consequences of your simp mentality. You're doomed, bro. It's tough being a man, hey? And cheers to the integrated men who actually protect women because it aligns with their noble duty, not as a way of chasing approval. This is the Beerhall Address with Leshub.